Prohibition on alcohol, drugs, and intoxicants.
Baha'i.
Beware lest ye exchange the wine of God for your own wine, for it will stupefy your minds and turn your faces away from the countenance of God, the all-glorious, the peerless, the inaccessible. Approach it not, for it hath been forbidden unto you by the behest of God, the exalted, the Almighty. The Kitab-i-Aqdas.
In this book, he, moreover, prescribes the obligatory prayers, designates the time and period of fasting, condemns cruelty to animals, idleness and sloth, backbiting and calumny, censures divorce, interdicts gambling, the use of opium, wine, and other intoxicating drinks, the Kitab-i-Aqdas.
God hath prohibited unto men the drinking of wine, and the unlawfulness thereof hath been revealed and recorded in the book of God, and the doctors of the age, may God multiply the like of them, have unanimously prohibited unto men this abominable action, yet withal do some commit it. Now the punishment of this action falls on these heedless persons, while those manifestations of the glory and sanctity continue, holy and undefiled, unto their sanctity all being, whether of the unseen or the seen, testifieth. Abdu'l-Baha.
As to opium, it is foul and accursed. God protect us from the punishment he inflicteth on the user. According to the explicit text of the most holy book, it is forbidden, and its use is utterly condemned. Reason showeth that smoking opium is a kind of insanity, and experience attesteth that the user is completely cut off from the human kingdom. May God protect all against the perpetration of an act so hideous as this, an act which layeth in ruins the very foundation of what it is to be human, and which causeth the user to be dispossessed for ever and ever. For opium fasteneth on the soul so that the user's conscience dieth, his mind is blotted away, his perceptions are eroded. It turneth the living into the dead, it quencheth the natural heat. No greater harm can be conceived than that which opium inflicteth. Fortunate are they who never even speak the name of it, then think how wretched is the user. The Kitab-i-Aqdas.
O divine providence, bestow thou in all things purity and cleanliness upon the people of Baha. Grant that they be freed from all defilement and released from all addictions. Save them from committing any repugnant act. Unbind them from the chains of every evil habit, that they may live pure and free, wholesome and cleanly, worthy to serve thy sacred threshold, and fit to be related to their Lord. Deliver them from intoxicating drinks and tobacco. Save them, rescue them, from this opium that bringeth on madness. Suffer them to enjoy the sweet savours of holiness, that they may drink deep of the mystic cup of heavenly love, and know the rapture of being drawn ever closer unto the realm of the All-Glorious. For it is even as thou hast said, all that thou hast in thy cellar will not appease the thirst of my love. Bring me, O cupbearer, of the wine of the spirit of a cup full as the sea. Abdu'l-Baha.
Gambling and the use of opium have been forbidden unto you. Eschew them both, O people, and be not of those who transgress. Beware of using any substance that induceth sluggishness and torpor in the human temple, and inflicteth harm on the body. We verily desire for you naught save what shall profit you, and to this bear witness all created things, had ye but ears to hear. The Kitab-i-Aqdas.
I wish to say that, in the sight of God, the smoking of tobacco is a thing which is blamed and condemned, very unclean, and of which the result is by degrees injurious. Besides, it is a cause of expense and a loss of time, and it is a harmful habit. So, for those who are firm in the covenant, it is a thing reprobated by the reason and by tradition, the renouncement of which giveth gradual repose and tranquility, permitteth one to have stainless hands and a clean mouth, and hair which is not pervaded by a bad odor. Abdu'l-Baha.
It hath been forbidden you to smoke opium. We truly have prohibited this practice through a most binding interdiction in the book. Should anyone partake thereof, assuredly he is not of me. Fear God, O ye endued with understanding. The Kitab-i-Aqdas.
O ye, God's loved ones, experience hath shown how greatly the renouncing of smoking, of intoxicating drink, and of opium conduceth to health and vigor, to the expansion and keenness of mind, and to the bodily strength. There is today a people who strictly avoid tobacco, intoxicating liquor, and opium. These people is far away superior to the others, for strength and physical courage, for health, beauty, and comeliness. A single one of their men can stand up to 10 men of another tribe. This hath proved true of the entire people. That is, member for member, each individual of this community is in every respect superior to the individuals of other communities. Abdu'l-Baha.
O ye lovers of God, in this the cycle of Almighty God, violence and force, constraint and oppression are one and all condemned. It is, however, mandatory that the use of opium be prevented by any means whatsoever, that perchance the human race may be delivered from this most powerful of plagues, and otherwise woe and misery to whoso falleth short of his duty to his Lord. The Kitab-i-Aqdas.
Regarding hashish, you have pointed out that some have become habituated to its use. Gracious God, this is the worst of all intoxicants, and its prohibition is explicitly revealed. The use causeth the disintegration of thought and the complete torpor of the soul. How could anyone seek the fruit of the infernal tree, and by partaking of it, be led to exemplify the qualities of a monster? How could one use this forbidden drug and thus deprive himself of the blessings of the All-Merciful? Alcohol consumeth the mind and causeth man to commit acts of absurdity. But this opium, this foul fruit of the infernal tree, and this wicked hashish extinguish the mind, freeze the spirit, petrify the soul, waste the body, and leave man frustrated and lost. Kitab-i-Aqdas.
This nature and constitution is innate, and God has given it equally to all mankind. But man begins little by little to accustom himself to poison by taking a small quantity each day and gradually increasing it until he reaches such a point that he cannot live without a gram of opium every day. The natural capacities are thus completely perverted. Observe how much the natural capacity and constitution can be changed until by different habits and training they become entirely perverted. Baha'i World Faith.
The Bhiksu Sangha Buddhist Association.
The fifth precept, no intoxicants. Intoxicant is a poison you must abstain from, so that in the future lives far ahead you may avoid the dark and evil things. Book of Truth.
Buddhism.
To refrain from killing, to refrain from stealing, to refrain from adulterous or promiscuous sexual activities, to refrain from false speech, to refrain from drugs and alcohol. The Pali Canon.
Alcohol is the root of immorality and evils. Refrain from it and you'll stay away from sins. Mahaparinirvana Sutra.
A disciple of the Buddha should not intentionally consume alcoholic beverages, as they are the source of countless offenses. If he but offers a glass of wine to another person, his retribution will be to have no hands for 500 lifetimes. How could he then consume liquor himself? Indeed, a bodhisattva should not encourage any person or any other sentient being to consume alcohol, much less take any alcoholic beverages himself. A disciple should not drink any alcoholic beverages whatsoever. If instead he deliberately does so or encourages others to do so, he commits a secondary offense. Brahmajala Sutra.
He who destroys life, who speaks untruth, who in this world takes what is not given to him, who goes to another man's wife, and he who gives himself to drinking intoxicating liquors, he, even in this world, digs up his own roots. Dhammapada Sutra.
And which are the 6 doors of dissipating wealth? Drink, frequenting the streets at unseemly hours, haunting fairs, gambling, associating with evil friends, idleness. Sigalovada Sutra.
These are, young householder, the 6 dangers of drink, the actual loss of wealth, increase of quarrels, susceptibility to disease, an evil reputation, indecent exposure, ruining one's intelligence. Sigalovada Sutra.
6, young householder, are the perils of gambling. If the man wins, he is hated. If he loses, he mourns his lost wealth. Waste of wealth, his word has no weight in an assembly, a court of law. He is despised by his friends and companions. He is not sought in marriage, for people will say that a man who is a gambler will never make a good husband. Sigalovada Sutra.
Blessed one. For example, a person might drink wine and become intoxicated, not even knowing who he is himself, unable to distinguish right and wrong, unable to recognize his mother, his sisters, or his daughters. He falls head over heels and soils his whole body with urine and excrement. Later, he becomes sober and learns for some reason what befell him and reflects how useless alcohol is, and decides to rid himself of all his sins. Then he thoroughly trains himself to regard the drinking of alcohol as utterly useless, and gives it up. Nirvana Sutra.
Cao Dai.
Why must we avoid consuming intoxicants? First, I will tell you why intoxicants are harmful to the physical body. When you drink wine, it runs through your organs, and your heart is penetrated by this intoxicant, causing it to overwork, to labor much harder than what is arranged by nature, pumping the blood to flow irregularly. Thereby, the lung has not enough time to purify the blood. The polluted blood is then returned to body, sending the foul stuff into the organs. These organs then get sick more so every day, losing their strength and eventually die. Then our body will die too. Many people have half their body die as a result of wine. Now, I'll tell you about its harm to the spirit, which is the entity that embraces your entire body like a cover. Its center is the brain. The brain is controlled by the blood, and when the blood flow is irregular, it causes our mind to scatter. Thus, we can't be calm to function. Our body becomes uncontrollable, and we behave like animals. Once we lose our human status, we can't expect to rise to the ranks of the sages, saints, and Buddha. Also, when our mind is uncontrollable, we leave our door open for negative spirits to enter, thus leading us to do many sinful things, and causing us to be bound forever by the cycle of reincarnation. Therefore, I forbid you to drink wine. Divine Messages.
Christianity.
Wine makes men foolish, and strong drink makes men come to blows, and whoever comes into error through these is not wise. Holy Bible.
He that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man. He that loveth wine and oil shall not be rich. Holy Bible.
Be not among wine-bibbers, among riotous eaters of flesh, for the drunkard and the glutton shall become to poverty, and drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags. Holy Bible.
Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has contentions? Who has complaining? Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Those who linger long over wine, those who go to taste mixed wine. Holy Bible.
Do not look on the wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it goes down smoothly. At the last it bites like a serpent and stings like a viper. Your eyes will see strange things, and your mind will utter perverse things, and you will be like one who lies down in the middle of the sea, or like one who lies down on top of a mast. Holy Bible.
It is not for kings, O Lemuel, It is not for kings to drink wine, or for rulers to desire strong drink, for they will drink and forget what is decreed, and pervert the rights of all the afflicted. Holy Bible.
Do not get drunk with wine, for that is dissipation, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to one another in psalms, in hymns, and spiritual songs, singing and making melody with your heart to the Lord. Holy Bible.
Let us walk honestly, as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. Holy Bible. For a bishop must be blameless as the steward of God, not self-willed, not soon angry, not given to wine, no striker, not given to filthy lucre, but a lover of hospitality, a lover of good men, sober, just, holy, temperate, holding fast the faithful word as he hath been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers. Holy Bible.
The aged woman likewise, that they be in behaviour as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. Holy Bible.
That he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lusts of men, but to the will of God, for the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in lasciviousness, lusts, excess of wine, revellings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries, wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you, who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead. Holy Bible. It is a trustworthy statement if any man aspires to the office of overseer. It is a fine work he desires to do. An overseer, then, must be above reproach, the husband of one wife, temperate, prudent, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not addicted to wine or pugnacious, but gentle, peaceable, free from the love of money. Holy Bible.
Deacons in like manner must be grave, not double-tongued, not given too much wine, not greedy of filthy lucre, holding the mystery of the faith in a pure conscience. Holy Bible.
Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revellers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God. Holy Bible.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
That inasmuch as any man drinketh wine or strong drink among you, behold, it is not good, neither meet in the sight of your Father. Gospel Doctrine.
That inasmuch as any man drinketh wine or strong drink among you, behold, it is not good, neither meet in the sight of your Father, only in assembling yourselves together to offer up your sacraments before him. And, again, strong drinks are not for the belly, but for the washing of your bodies. And again, tobacco is not for the body, neither for the belly, and is not good for man, but is an herb for bruises and all sick cattle, to be used with judgment and skill. The Doctrine and Covenants.
In the words of the Rambam, someone who gets drunk is a sinner. Alcohol, when used for the purpose of getting intoxicated, would be in the same category as drugs. The Doctrine and Covenants.
Confucianism.
Confucius said, "It is seldom indeed that a man with temperance is lost." Lun Yu.
Confucius said, "Out in the world, of service to high-ranking officials, in the home, of service to father and elder brothers. Venture not to be lax in matters of mourning, not to be ensnared as by drinking wine. Indeed, what difficulty for me." Lun Yu.
The Essenes.
You have been gluttonous, wine-bibbers, and your past debts have multiplied, and now you must repay them, and payment is difficult and hard. Essene Gospel of Peace.
Woe to you who devour the finest of the wheat, and drink wine in large bowls, and tread underfoot the lowly with your might. The Book of Enoch. Hoa Hao Buddhism.
Stay away from places that sell wine. Abstain from intoxicants, gambling, and drugs. Wise men shun all of them, for all they bring is disgrace and shame. Wisdom of the madman.
Hinduism.
Killing a priest, drinking liquor, stealing, violating the Guru's marriage bed, and associating with those who commit these acts are called the major crimes. Manusmriti.
For liquor is the defiling dirt excreted from rice, and the dirt is said to be evil. Therefore a priest, ruler, or commoner should not drink liquor. Manusmriti.
A Brahmana, stupefied by drunkenness, might fall on something impure or improperly pronounce Vedic text or commit some other act which ought not to be committed. Brahmana means knower of God. Manusmriti.
A twice-born man who has intentionally drunk through delusion of mind the spirituous liquor called Sura shall drink that liquor boiling hot. When his body has been completely scalded by that, he is freed from his guilt, or he may drink cow's urine, water, milk, clarified butter, or liquid cow dung boiling hot until he dies. Or, in order to remove the guilt of drinking Sura, he may eat during a year, once a day, a night of grains, of rice, or oil cake, wearing clothes made of cow hair, and his own hair in braids, and carrying a wine cup as a flag. Manusmriti.
Sura. One must know to be of three kinds: that distilled from molasses, gaudi, that distilled from ground rice, and that distilled from maduka flowers, matvi. As the one named above, even so are all three sorts, forbidden to the chief of the twice-born. Sura means liquor. Manusmriti.
When the Brahmin, which dwells in his body, is even once only deluged with spirituous liquor, his Brahmanhood forsakes him, and he becomes a Sudra. Brahmin means knower of God. Sudra means the servant class. Manusmriti.
Hunting, gambling, sleeping by day, censoriousness, excess with women, drunkenness, an inordinate love for dancing, singing, and music, and useless travel are the tenfold set of vices springing from love of pleasure. Manusmriti.
Drinking, dice, women, and hunting, these four which have been enumerated in succession, he must know to be the most pernicious in the set that springs from love of pleasure. Manusmriti.
A Brahmana who drinks a spirituous liquor called Sura shall enter the bodies of small and large insects, of moths, of birds, feeding on odor, and of destructive beasts. Brahmana means knower of God. Manusmriti.
He who wrangles or goes to law with his father, the keeper of a gambling house, a drunkard, he who is afflicted with a disease in punishment of former crimes, he who is accused of a mortal sin, a hypocrite, and he who cavils at the Veda must all be avoided. Manusmriti.
Quaffed juices fight within the breast. The drunken praise not by their wine. The naked praise not when it rains. Rig Veda.
Thou findest not the wealthy man to be thy friend. Those scorn thee who are flown with wine. O Indra, let us not, like fools who waste their lives at home, with friendship such as thine, sit idly by the poured-out juice. Rig Veda. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness.
Seeing the two drunk, under the influence blind, with their prestige and wealth, pronounced he, to teach the two sons of the light a lesson, a curse telling them the following. Narada said, "There is indeed for the one in the mode of passion enjoying the things of the world nothing as perplexing to the intelligence as the arrogance of wealth, a good birth, a nice body, learning and riches, etc., in which one takes interest in woman, wine, and gambling." Srimad Bhagavatam. Islam.
They ask thee concerning wine and gambling, say, in them is great sin. Qur'an.
O ye who believe, strong drink and games of chance and idols and divining arrows are only an infamy of Satan's handiwork. Leave it aside in order that ye may succeed. Qur'an.
Satan's plan is but to excite enmity and hatred between you with intoxicants and gambling, and hinder you from the remembrance of God and from prayer. Will ye not then abstain? Qur'an.
Jainism.
Alcohol stupefies the mind. One whose mind is stupefied forgets piety, and the person who forgets piety commits violence without hesitation. Purushartha Siddhi-Upaya. Judaism.
Woe to those who rise early in the morning, that they may pursue strong drink, who stay up late in the evening, that wine may inflame them. Their banquets are accompanied by lyre and harp, by tambourine and flute, and by wine. But they do not pay attention to the deeds of the Lord, nor do they consider the work of his hands. Holy Bible.
Woe to those who are heroes in drinking wine and valiant men in mixing strong drink, who justify the wicked for a bribe and take away the rights of the ones who are in the right. Holy Bible.
Woe to the crown of pride, to the drunkards of Ephraim, whose glorious beauty is a fading flower, which are on the head of the fat valleys of them that are overcome with wine. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. The crown of pride, the drunkards of Ephraim, shall be trodden under feet. Holy Bible.
And these also reel with wine and stagger from strong drink. The priest and the prophet reel with strong drink. They are confused by wine. They stagger from strong drink. They reel while having visions. They totter when rendering judgment. Holy Bible.
The Lord then spoke to Aaron, saying, Do not drink wine or strong drink, neither you nor your sons with you, when you come into the tent of meeting, so that you will not die. It is a perpetual statute throughout your generations, and so as to make a distinction between the holy and the profane, and between the unclean and the clean, and so as to teach the sons of Israel all the statutes which the Lord has spoken to them through Moses. Holy Bible.
But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Holy Bible.
Native American spirituality.
Many have fallen with the bottle in their hand. Lakota.
Sikhism.
The Sikh shall abstain from the use of drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. Sikh vows.
The body is the pitcher, selfhood the wine, and society is of craving and outgoing of the mind. Yes, desire is drinking bowl brimming over with falsehood, and Yama is the barman. Drinking such a wine, who can earn anything but vice and sin? Yama means the god of death. Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
One man offers wine and another pours it himself. It makes him crazy and senseless and devoid of all reason. Then one cannot distinguish between one's own and another's and is cursed by God. Drinking it, one forsakes one's master and is punished at the Lord's court. Yes, drink not this vicious wine under any circumstances. Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
The great giver has given the intoxicating drug of falsehood. The people are intoxicated. They have forgotten death, and they have fun for a few days. Those who do not use intoxicants are true. They dwell in the court of the Lord. O Nanak, know the true Lord is true. Serving him, peace is obtained. You shall go to his court with honor. The wine of truth is not fermented from molasses. Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
Maya torments us in so many ways, but the saints live under your protection, God. It torments us through intoxication with intellectual pride. It torments us through the love of children and spouse. It torments us through elephants, horses, and beautiful clothes. It torments us through the intoxication of wine and the beauty of youth. It torments us through everything, except for those who are imbued with the love of the Lord. Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
The demented fool drinks in the deadly poison, while he believes the impartial Nam to be bitter. He does not even approach the Saad Sangat, the company of the holy. He wanders lost through 8.4 million incarnations. Nam means essence of God. Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
Eating, drinking, playing, and laughing, I have wandered through countless incarnations. Please, God, lift me up and out of the terrifying world ocean. Nanak seeks your support. Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
God the banker gives endless capital to the mortal, who eats, drinks, and expends it with pleasure and joy. If some of this capital is later taken back by the banker, the ignorant person shows his anger. He himself destroys his own credibility, and he shall not again be trusted. Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
Those who went astray from the primal being in the very beginning, where can they find refuge? O Nanak, they are struck down by the all-powerful, the cause of causes. They take the noose in their hands and go out at night to strangle others. But God knows everything, O mortal. They spy on other men's women, concealed in their hiding places. They break into well-protected places and revel in sweet wine. But they shall come to regret their actions. They create their own bad karma. Azrael, the angel of death, shall crush them like sesame seeds in the oil press. Karma means retribution. Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
Whoever uses bhang, fish, and wine, whatever pilgrimages, fasting, and daily rites they may perform, they all go to hell. Bhang is an intoxicant made from Indian hemp. Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
Intoxicated with pride, you cheat yourself. You have not enshrined the word of Guru Shabad within your mind. Those who are deluded by sensual pleasures, who are tempted by sexual delights and enjoy wine are corrupt. But those who, through destiny and good karma, join the society of the saints, float over the ocean like iron attached to wood. Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
The dark age of Kali Yuga is the bottle of wine, Maya is the sweet wine, and the intoxicated mind continues to drink it in. Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
One person brings a full bottle, and another fills his cup. Drinking the wine, his intelligence departs, and madness enters his mind. He cannot distinguish between his own and others, and he is struck down by his Lord and Master. Drinking it, he forgets his Lord and Master, and he is punished in the court of the Lord. Do not drink the false wine at all, if it is in your power. Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
One universal creator, God. By the grace of the true Guru, he is the giver of peace to the breath of life, the giver of life to the soul. How can you forget him, you ignorant person? You taste the weak, insipid wine, and you have gone insane. You have uselessly wasted this precious human life. O man, such is the foolishness you practice. Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
Even if wine is made from the water of the Ganges, O saints, do not drink it. Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
Taoism.
When palaces are kept up, fields are left to weeds, and granaries empty, wearing fine clothes, bearing sharp swords, glutting with food and drink, hoarding wealth and possessions, these are the ways of theft, and far from the way. Tao Te Ching.
The teachings of Socrates.
If we were engaged in a war, said he, and were to choose a general, would we make choice of a man given to wine or women, and who could not support fatigues and hardships? Could we believe that such a commander would be capable to defend us and to conquer our enemies? Or if we were lying on our deathbed and were to appoint a guardian and tutor for our children, to take care to instruct our sons in the principles of virtue, to breed up our daughters in the paths of honor, and to be faithful in the management of their fortunes, should we think a debauched person fit for that employment? The memorable thoughts of Socrates.
Would we trust our flocks and our granaries in the hands of a drunkard? Would we rely upon him for the conduct of any enterprise? And, in short, if a present were made us of such a slave, should we not make it a difficulty to accept him? If then we have so great an aversion for debauchery in the person of the meanest servant, ought we not ourselves to be very careful not to fall into the same fault? The memorable thoughts of Socrates.
A debauched man is both troublesome to others and injurious to himself. We may say of him that he is hurtful to all the world, and yet more hurtful to himself, if to ruin not only his family, but his body and soul likewise is to be hurtful. Who then can take delight in the company of him who has no other diversion than eating and drinking? Ought we not then to practice temperance above all things, seeing it is the foundation of all other virtues? For without it, what can we learn that is good? What do that is worthy of praise? Is not the state of a man who is plunged in voluptuousness a wretched condition both for the body and the soul? The memorable thoughts of Socrates.
Zoroastrianism.
When, O Mazda, will the nobles understand the message? When wilt thou smite the filthiness of this intoxication, through which the Carapans evilly deceive, and the wicked lords of the lands with purpose fell? Avesta.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/WOW-scrolls.